In the quiet Swiss city of Geneva, far from the bombs and the battle cries, the war was measured in ticks. It was fought not on battlefields, but on workbenches lit by single lamps. The combatants were watchmakers, and their weapon was precision. The Allied air forces had a problem. Their bombers were being torn apart by a German secret, the Flak 88, the most accurate and deadly anti-aircraft gun of the war. Its secret wasn't explosive power, but timing. Its shells were fitted with advanced clockwork fuses designed to detonate at a specific altitude, creating a wall of shrapnel through which bombers had to fly. To crack this wall, British intelligence needed to understand the fuse. They needed a man who could think like the enemy, who spoke the language of gears and springs. They found Etienne Lavigne, a master watchmaker from Geneva, whose client list had once included German generals. He was a neutral citizen in a neutral country, but his son was a pilot in the RAF, shot down over the Channel. They brought him to a clandestine workshop in a London basement. His mission: reverse engineer the soul of the German fuse from fragments of unexploded shells. Etienne did not see a weapon. He saw a masterpiece of mechanical arrogance. The fuse was a tiny brass universe of levers, springs, and a perfectly balanced governor. It was set by a ground crew to spin at a rate that would unscrew an arming pin after a precise number of rotations, which correlated exactly to the shell's time of flight to a predetermined altitude. For weeks, Etienne lived inside that tiny universe. He mapped its logic, and he found its flaw. It was too perfect. Its timing was predictable, a metronome of death. He proposed a countermeasure, not of armor, but of chaos. Working with physicists, he designed window bundles of aluminum foil strips cut to specific lengths. When dropped by bombers, they created a blizzard of false radar echoes, confusing gun-laying radar. But Etienne's insight went deeper. He calculated the precise vibrational frequency of the fuse's spinning governor. His team then engineered a simple, cheap jamming device, a radio transmitter that could be carried in a bomber, which emitted a focused pulse on that frequency. It was a tuning fork for bombs. When activated, the pulse caused the delicate governor in the incoming shell's fuse to chatter and seize. The timing mechanism jammed. The shells now detonated either instantly upon firing or not at all, raining dud steel onto the fields below. The first mass use of the device was during the devastating raid on Hamburg in 1943. Post-raid intelligence was baffling. German anti-aircraft fire was wildly inaccurate. Its deadly box barrage pattern collapsed into random, harmless bursts. A vital layer of the city's defense had been silently switched off. Etienne never learned if his son was alive. He returned to Geneva after the war and repaired music boxes and delicate ladies' pendants. He never spoke of his work. The brass shells of the fuses he dissected were melted down. The jamming device was declassified decades later, a footnote in technical manuals. His war left no monument of stone. Its legacy was negative space, the absence of explosions where there should have been many. It proved that in a conflict of industrial giants, a victory could be won by a man with steady hands, a magnifying lens, and the profound understanding that the most complex systems of destruction are built, ultimately, on something as fragile as a watchmaker's spring.